Anorexia and bulimia. The act of turning the nourishment of the body on a painful attack on oneself. I have not starved myself or made myself throw up my food for almost a year now. I understand the pain of feeling you have no control, feeling you're not good enough, and I feel like those are what people who struggle with anorexia and bulimia struggle with the most. We want to feel like we have control. We also want to fit an idea of perfection. Sometimes we feel we are not perfect in ways that people want us to be, or in ways that we want ourselves to be. So what we do is some of us turn to things such as anorexia, bulimia, because it's easy. We can do it easily and we're taking control of our bodies. We usually know it's not healthy, but I feel, at least for me, it almost turned into an addiction. I had to throw up my food. I had to not eat. Or I felt, I was gonna get fat. And as a child, I was told some pretty awful things by my family. And I wanted to be the definition of beautiful. And I know people have different definitions of what beautiful is. What I struggled with was, I really think myself, because I had people telling me, Michael, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're so cute. But at the same time, it didn't do that much because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like myself. I wanted to change who I was. I don't know if other people have had this thought process. I'm pretty sure many have, though. I saw these guys in the magazines, and I wanted to look like them. But for some reason, I thought I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't able to get to that. Like, they were at such a high point that I wouldn't be able to get to it. I had to find within myself my own strength. I had to come to the realization that I am so much stronger than what I knew to be, just like you guys are. We are so much stronger than what we really believe sometimes. I shouldn't say believe, I should say think. Because I believe if we go deep down into ourselves and touch our beliefs, we can really see how strong we truly are. Things that helped me get out of the act of starving myself, making myself throw up. Another thing is, I suffer from acid reflux. So that made it very easy for me to throw up my food. I wouldn't even have to stick my finger down my throat. So I could just, kind of push it up with my chest and it would come up. So that was really easy for me. But back to what I was saying, some things that really helped me get out of the habit of that is just, I discovered exercise. But before I discovered exercise, I discovered healthy eating. There was a time where I thought, I couldn't eat healthy things even because the calories are going to make me fat. Because people will say, you consume calories, it makes you fat. And till I did really my own research, I believed that, like, I didn't have the actual facts, and that is something that's really important, I think, for everyone to do, is if you're interested in a certain body type that you want, to really research it, how to get it. That is really, really helpful. But I began to exercise, and I feel like this goes back to when I was a child, that I loved exercise, but I didn't do it because I felt that I wasn't good enough. Like, I felt like I couldn't do it, but I loved it, but I didn't want to embarrass myself by not being the best at it, that I wouldn't even try. And then that came back in the not my early years, my older years, my teenage years, where like people were like, oh, just exercise. Well, I was like, well, I don't feel like I can exercise. I don't want people to see me embarrass myself. I don't want to fail, is what I always thought. But after lots of therapy, support from friends, and just going within myself and finding my inner strength, I realized I can do these things. That's what you guys need to realize. You can do these things. If you're suffering from anorexia or bulimia, there's a certain body type that you want, you can make that body type. You have the strength, you have the willpower. You just need to get that self-discipline and consistency, which we are all capable of doing no matter what. And then on the other hand, another reason I suffered with anorexia and bulimia was the control. When I was in foster care, after I was ripped away from my mother, I had no control. I had a caseworker making decisions on my behalf. I was in foster homes. They told me what I could and couldn't do. Regardless if I wanted to do it or not, it was also a sense of control. Well, if I can't control anything else in my life, at least I can control my body. That is what I told myself as sort of a justification for it. Because I knew deep down, the body type that I want, this isn't the best way to get it. Or I didn't really, wasn't thinking, this isn't a way to get it, because I didn't want to think like that. But I did think, this isn't the best way to get it. But my main justification for it was, yeah, I'm taking control right now. This is the one thing I control. I deserve it. And I feel like that is where the real illness comes from. That's the true illness, I think, is us feeling the need to have control over something. Us having a sense of self-worthlessness. Not knowing our self-worth. Not seeing the beauty through another mind's eye. Only seeing the negative perspective. Not seeing what we have, but what we could have. What we don't have, I should say. I think it's very important to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. And that goes the same with yourself. You can see yourself as you are, as you look in the mirror, but don't forget you can see yourself as what you could be. And when you see yourself as what you could be, then that is when you're in the mindset where you can find out, what can I do to make my body, or what I want to change about myself, what it can be. What can I do? Because we are so much stronger than what we think to be sometimes. I realize that in times of trouble, I feel like I'm not as strong. And then after I get through it, I'm like, damn, I'm strong mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It all takes work. It all takes consistency. This disease is a heartbreaking one. Watching someone go through it, I can only imagine what those I cared about had to go through watching me go through that. And you don't want to tell anyone. It's very hard because you feel almost shameful for it. Because you feel like people are going to look down on you. just because of how it's perceived. And I understand that, because that was me. I encourage people, find someone you trust. Ask for help. Eating again is gonna be baby steps. Especially if you eat too fast after you haven't eaten for a while, you will get sick. But also mentally. You know, you don't have to eat a pizza. If you want to eat healthy, you don't have to eat that whole salad. Start with a few bites and work up to it. Just like when you're working out. You work up to it. You start at a 15 and you go up to a 20 until you're like, okay, I'm feeling that, you know? Same with your eating. You eat and you're like, okay, I feel full this time. Next time I'm going to try to do a little more. Push yourself, but also know your limits. I feel that's so important. I feel that if you really what really did help me was taking the principles of exercising. I learned this from my therapist. I trust him. He's a very great man. You take the principles from exercising and you apply it to yourself and your eating habits. And it goes the same for bulimia. I had to teach myself, okay, I feel like throwing up my food right now. Instead, I would go drink some water. Because then I felt like, well, I'll have to go to the bathroom soon. I am taking control. I am controlling what I put in my body. I don't need to starve myself. I don't need to throw up. I am taking control of my own body by what I put in it, what I do with my body, such as running, working out, what I drink. That is where I found I have my own sense of control in that way. As for my self-worth and our own self-worth, it's really only something you can find within yourself. It took me a while to find it, and I feel like it was so much of that negative perspective. I was so angry at the world for what had happened, for foster care, for things that happened when I was in my family's home, for losing my mother, for so many things. And it's like I turned that anger on an attack on myself, which turned into me hating myself, and I would hold on to things. I had to realize that little things can be let go, and that each and every day, as long as I'm trying, as long as I'm consistent, I'm getting closer to my goals. I find one thing about me every single day to say, hey, I like that about myself. I always tell myself, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome. It really, really helps me. Another thing is to reprogram our minds. Our minds get stuck in a loop sometimes, kind of like a computer, where it's programmed to, think the same things, do the same things. We have to shift the perspective. We have to tell ourselves, instead of, hey, I'm ugly, I'm beautiful today. The more you say it, the more you think it, the more it will come more naturally, and then suddenly you'll be thinking out of nowhere, instead of subconsciously thinking I'm ugly, you're going to subconsciously think, hey, I'm beautiful. And when you think positive affirmations like that is when you get the motivation, the inspiration to do things like work out, put on that makeup, do your hair, do these things that make you feel great. And at the same time also, I've noticed within myself that when I started talking more positively about myself and thinking more positively about myself, my complexion and stuff, it got brighter. It wasn't so dull. And I don't know if other people noticed that, but that's something I really did notice. And when I say positive affirmations, I don't mean that they're fake. Sometimes I thought when people were like, oh, just think positive, I'm like, oh, okay, just be fake. Like, but no, think of what I said earlier, of what the world, of what you could be. Saying I am handsome, I am beautiful, I am worthy every single day. You may not feel like it right now, but it's what you could feel like. It's putting that intention out there of what could be. It's not making how you feel right now not valued, not heard, because it is heard, but you're putting out that intention of what could be and what can be. And that is one of the most powerful tools we have as human beings. You should never give up. Never give up on your dreams. There's gonna be bumps in the road. That happens to all of us. It shows us the truth. Is this dream real? If you let it go, that shows how important it was. We all have the strength to hold on to our dreams and fight for it. You gotta find that passion within. Just keep trying. Consistency is key. I cannot stress that enough. Consistency is key. You guys can get past this. If anyone can get past it, you guys can. If I got past it, I feel anyone can. Thank you guys for watching this video. I would really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe and hit the bell for more content by me. And always remember, you're so much stronger than you think. Have courage. Be kind. Show passion. And stay classy, not trashy.